Hello, Widowhood. Our guest today is Miss Isabelle Zimmerman, and she is going to provide us with some tools regarding heart mapping, meditation, and finding out how to get your wow back. Let's get into the conversation now.
Many people talk about the ups and downs of married life, but no one really prepares you for life after your spouse passes away. Welcome to Widowhood Real Talk with Tina, a safe place for widows, widowers, and their friends and family to talk about love and loss. Find comfort as you listen to honest conversations between Tina and invited guests who've experienced the loss of their forever partner. Share their stories of love, grief, and healing. You are not alone in this journey. Join today's episode and discover a wealth of resources and learn how to connect with others who are traveling the same path. This is Widowhood Real Talk with Tina.
Hello, Isabelle Zimmerman. Welcome to the Widowhood.
Hello, Tina. So happy to be here.
And I guess you've been in the Widowhood, just not a podcast, because you've actually supported us and done things already. But this is, I guess, an official welcome to the Widowhood.
Right. Some people are meeting me for the first time.
Correct. So where are we meeting you from? Where are you located at this moment in the world?
So currently, I'm in a little town called Spartanburg in South Carolina on the East Coast of the United States.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you from there originally?
I am not. I would say I've been blessed in living in many different places, but I went to my formative years were in Ohio. So I might be considered an Ohioan. And then my adult years, I lived in Connecticut.
Okay.
So some people might call me a Yankee.
Oh, I was thinking both of those places were cold. That's what came to my mind immediately. And so
cold.
What is the weather like in comparison to where you're at and where you grew up?
So South Carolina is like spring here. So you can wear a light jacket and it's kind of warm and it's sunny. It was cold and rainy yesterday, so it was like Connecticut weather without the snow. And today it's warm and sunny. So we'll see what the season is like here in South Carolina.
Nice. So I mentioned that you have already supported the Widowhood, and I don't want to do a disservice to the event that you supported. And then I think that'll be a good way to segue into things that you do and how you support other people. What do you think?
That's wonderful.
Okay, you want to talk about the event you did for us?
Yes. So Tina and I met in a networking event, and I said to her, the work that she's doing is so important. So again, my name is Isabelle Zimmerman, and I'm an Ascension teacher. And what that means is that I help folks to connect to their spirit guides and to go into their soul field, which a lot of people would consider past life regressions. I've done over 1,000 regressions. I am very connected to spirit. I'm also a channeler. And I would also consider myself, if the new terminology, if you not have heard it, it's called a light worker. And all that means is we assist our humans here, our friends here on this earth, to raise their vibration and connect to the unseen world, which are your spirit guides.
Thank you for that. And when you assisted us, I believe it was a meditation event before Christmas. Can you talk about sort of like what that event was like, and then maybe how it can be helpful for people who are grieving?
Yes. So grieving is a process. And it's a process, whether it is this current incarnation or a past incarnation. Believe it or not, it is a process to grieve that loss, to feel that loss of love. And so that sadness can be very overwhelming, and you can feel it in your body. But meditation allows you to release and soften that sadness. It allows you to be connected in the now moment. And so that meditation that we did because I'm also certified in HeartMath. And if you're all inspired to look it up, it's been around for 50 years and there's a lot of science around it. There's extreme physiological benefits in meditation, but there's also spiritual benefits. So some people might consider that prayer or connecting to nature, going for long walks, or petting their animal. They get into a calmer state of mind. So there are brain waves, theta, beta, delta, alpha. And the theta brain waves is usually where I get the person for hypnosis. But you want to go into a calmer state out of beta, which would be anxious, and into a delta. So, have you ever, Tina, have you ever been able to sit in nature and feel this peace and calm?
Yes.
Yes. So, if you're not in nature, you can get that same feeling through meditation.
Mm. And so, thank you for that explanation. And I want to circle back a little bit. You mentioned about feeling grief in your body. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, please?
Yes. Massage therapists understand that our emotions are stored in your body. There are many, many massage therapists now. So there is a lot of empirical data. And what they have uncovered is when they massage their client, they will spontaneously cry and release emotions. Now, if you want to know the why and the science behind it, I recommend you look up Candace Pert. She did not win the Nobel Prize because at the time she worked for another scientist and he won the Nobel Prize, but it was her work. It was just the time in the 70s and 80s that women were not noted. But anyway, she has since crossed over. Her work still lives. And Candace Pert studies peptides. She worked for the National Health Institute of our United States government. And she did tremendous research and uncovered that indeed in our cellular memory, emotions are stored. And that has to do with these peptides and locks and keys. And, I can get really nerdy and geek out.
Go for it. Yes, go all the way in.
So peptides are proteins. In fact, not only are you made of water, you're also made of lots of proteins that are activated within your DNA. And these peptides, so the reason she started off her research, because she wanted to know why humans would be addicted to morphine. That was her question. Why would humans be addicted to morphine? Is there something similar in our bodies that we create naturally? Because at that point, she had figured out little molecules of proteins called peptides as a lock and key mechanism. And sure enough, she did uncover endorphins. In fact, it's from Candace Pert that we have this word, endorphins. So our bodies does produce endorphins that is like morphine from the poppies. And from that research, she went deeper still and uncovered, the brain waves and the firing of the synapses and that is made of protein. Yes. And she uncovered that indeed we store emotions in our cells.
And so now you're grieving and you're storing this in your body. Why is that something I would want to release? What difference does it make?
Because over time, when you have stuck energy, so emotions are energy. They're energy emotion. And when you have anything that is blocked or stuck
Mm.
in your body, you tend to get sick and ill. It is not by accident. Have you not noticed that when someone loses a partner, that you hear stories that their wife or husband die a year later?
Unfortunately. And that tends to happen more often than not for couples that have been together for a long period of time, and the couples themselves are often older in age.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it doesn't happen in other groups, but that tends to be the higher percentage.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, even couples, a lot of studies, they would put a husband and wife or child and mother or father and child, and their brain waves will sync. And older couples or couples that have a long-term relationship will start to even sync their heartbeats, their minds, and they will even become telepathic.
I can relate to that. When you said that, it made me think of different instances with my late husband. And originally, I would call him and say, "Do you want me to pick something up?" And it would be just at the moment he was ready to write a list. It became to the point that I could drive up to the grocery store, wait in the parking lot, and then go, okay, wait for him to call me. I likened it unto the common patterns that we have. But if you are in a relationship and you're connected to someone and you are really intertwined and on the same page, as they would say, you do begin to sync where people will say, oh, you guys look alike. Or I've heard people say the couples look more like brothers and sisters because they have begun to intertwine. It also made me think of when you have a lot of women together and their menstruals all sort of start a line. They could have been on different weeks, but after they're together, let's say in boot camp, basic training, in college, or places where they're all together, that pattern starts to exist. Is that similar to what it is you're referring
That's
to?
it. What you're
Okay.
describing is the quantum field.
Okay.
So, what I would say is we are taught here physical matter in Newtonian physics.
Okay.
Okay. And so something in motion stays in motion. But, you know, I often teach people how to use a pendulum and it will be completely still. And then when I call in my beings of light, it will start to move. Mathematically, that should not move.
Okay.
But all it is sort of like what I would say is years and thousands of years ago, somebody said, I wonder what makes up the trees. I wonder what makes up the rocks and the water. And we discovered chemistry.
Okay.
And then someone said, is that the tiniest molecules? I wonder what molecules are made up of and atoms. And then we uncovered the neutrons and the electrons and protons. And from there, we built this beautiful CERN collider, the size of a city, that all humans from nationalities came together to discover what made physical matter. And we discovered dark energy and dark matter. And our whole idea of what creates this consciousness was expanded. It is just like the idea of a radio.
Okay.
It's a transistor radio, and it changed our lives in World War II and
Mm-hmm.
World War One. And it was a device because Tesla, although he wasn't the scientist who brought it forth, Tesla thought, I wonder, the sound is a wave. I wonder if I can capture it and receive it.
Mm.
And so he created a device so that we could hear it. But there are radio waves going through us. There is infrared waves and all sorts of waves in the spectrum of colors.
Yes.
Scientists will use prisms a lot. The white light has the red, the blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, right?
Yeah.
When you color the rainbow. And when you bring it all back together, it's white light.
Mm. Okay.
It's
What
just
is
bending energy.
Okay. Circle back a little bit. You mentioned that you were certified in heart.
HeartMath.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more and why someone would want to work with you in regards to that?
Yes. So meditation, what HeartMath, and I really, if you go to heartmath.com, there's a little device that you could clip to your ear and use on your phone. And it's a biofeedback device. And it will tell you if your brain and heart are in coherence.
Mm.
So they use heart rate variance. If you go to heartmath.org, you will see the white papers, the science. You will learn about the fMRI machine by James Zimmerman. Sorry, same last name. James Zimmerman, who used to work for Ford, that did a superconductor. So there's a lot of science behind it, but what I would say is what they uncovered was around 50 years of research is your heart is your command center. There's a lot of communication, the same communication that is in our brain is in our heart cells. And this is our command center. We actually send more communication from our heart, from our body to our brain, and the heart runs everything. Very few much communication from the brain goes to the heart. And they were shocked because they thought the brain was the center, but it's your heart. Your heart is the brain. And if I say this to you, when a body dies, you can be brain dead and still alive. But if
Yes,
your heart dies, you're not.
correct.
And the first cell created for a baby is a heart cell, not the brain. So there is a lot of information, and a lot of what I would get from a lot of people is they're like, I can't meditate. I can't meditate. I can't slow down my brain. All I hear is my thoughts. And I would say, don't give up. Be patient. It's just like a little 3-year-old not ready for their nap. It's okay.
And literally the same thing, the busyness, the trying not to go to sleep, but the rest is what that child needs. And why is meditation what we need?
Meditation and the heart rate variance. Meditation increases the thickness of your prefrontal cortex. So the benefits is your body heals.
Yes.
So if you're diabetic, high blood pressure, any physical illness, you will start to heal. What remarkably happens is I was afraid personally to meditate because I've always been a psychic, and I was scared of that unseen world.
Okay.
And I didn't know that it's not only, but I didn't know it was love. I didn't know setting my intention. It's sort of like you can watch a scary movie on TV or you can watch a love story. Whatever you place your focus, right?
Okay.
If you place your focus to connect in love, you connect in love.
Okay.
And I didn't know it was that simple. I was scared. I was afraid that I was going to open up a Pandora's box and I wasn't going to know what to do. I really felt like I was playing with fire, and I was just like, no, 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 no. I didn't want to meditate. So I resisted for a very long time because I'm very sciencey, until I saw the data. And then when I saw the data and the biofeedback, and all you do is you follow this little mandolin that breathes in and out. And then you bring in a feeling of love. And we can meditate together on this podcast. And when you bring in a feeling of love, I was just like, Isabelle Zimmerman, I can't believe you were so scared over this. Like, you know what it is? It's like when when my students come to me to connect to spirit, I say, don't you remember being a teenager, being really scared to kiss someone? And you were afraid you didn't know how to do it, or
Right.
you were afraid that you were going to be awful, or you're afraid you were going to be hurt, or, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And maybe your first experience was like weird and awkward, but
Pretty much.
but we got better at it. And then we're like, I really like kissing, huh? But only your frame of reference was like you kiss your mama, or you kiss your papa, or you kiss your auntie,
Right.
right? That's not the same, but that's
We hope
all
not.
you know. No, yeah.
That's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast. But that's only your frame of reference, right? And so when you start this journey, when you start meditating, and then you're ready to connect with your spirit guides and your ancestors, and then you feel this, I could cry, you feel this unconditional love. It's remarkable. And it's why I'm so passionate, because I get to witness everyone's first kiss.
Mm. Oh, wow. I have two more questions that come to mind at this moment. Explain or speak a little bit more about beings of light.
Yes. So what I would say to you is beings of light are on a spectrum of light that is a high frequency based in love. There are many frequencies of consciousness or energy.
Okay.
And beings of light can be galactic. They could be your ancestors on the other side
Mm.
who are based in love. They could be angels, angelic realms. I love working with the angelic realm.
Okay.
They're wonderful. And it was so funny, Tina. If you would have said to me, Isabelle Zimmerman, are angels real? I would have been like, I don't know. There's a lot of mythology around it, but I don't
Right.
think they're real. But I can tell you, they are real. And
Mm.
I love working with Michael and Raphael. And my
Okay.
clients, when they're scared, I bring in Michael and Raphael because they really were assigned to Earth. And
Mm.
it's always a profound experience for my clients, because they cry and they feel love and they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, again, I get to witness that beauty. And I'm like, I know. Meet Michael and Raphael. I know. And you can call them anytime. And when you
Mm.
feel them in your heart, you don't have to be scared, because our beings of light are non-physical. They
Okay.
don't have a physical form like us. So when they communicate, they have to communicate in different ways.
Okay.
Okay. So they're always communicating with us, and when it's not your mind, and it's the being of light, because it's always, always a loving message. It has
Mm.
never, never not been.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. You mentioned students. How would one connect with you? And I know the information will be in the show notes, but just to articulate that so they can hear it. How would they meet with you? And what would that first conversation or consult look like?
So if you're new, meaning you really haven't meditated, you are at the level of belief, understanding that spirit guides are real, then that's who I want. If
Okay.
you are still kicking the tires and you're not sure, do your research. It's okay. I love you no matter what. I'm not asking you to believe what I believe. I'm beyond it. I would just say I just went to college. That's all. I'm just telling the freshmen, hi, welcome to college. Just so you know, do wear your flip-flops. That is true. Don't eat the eggs. They're very dry and weird, but do have a bagel, and the cream cheese is okay. And do not get Mr. Sloan as a professor. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and get Mrs. Tina. That's who you want, right? So
Right.
that's all it is. I'm just a guide that has gone through college. I am no wiser or better or smarter. It's
Hmm.
just that I've had a chance for the curriculum to set in.
Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted to work with me, I would recommend booking a discovery call. It's free and it's right on my website, and we'll just chit chat. And I'm
Okay.
always connected to my spirit guides. So sometimes I say, not yet. And sometimes I say, okay, my next class is such and such. Or
Hmm.
sometimes I say, oh, you need to work with me one on one because you
Mm.
really need to know who you are
Okay.
because of your mission.
Okay.
So I never know. I never know. And then I also have, if you wanted to ease into a relationship with me, I also do this event called Money Love. And that
Mm.
event is, it's my honor. I've done it 4 months in a row, and it's profound. And I can't believe I get to do this event, but I'm really helping humanity have a different relationship with money in
Mm.
love, not over fear, not over control.
Hmm.
It's been a profound effect with me. Tina, if you said, Isabel, are you afraid of money? I would have been like, Tina, no. I was. I was afraid of money.
But most people are. Most
I,
people are.
it's true. So connecting to the consciousness of with it's a hypnosis, and it's also a little bit of a beautiful ceremony. But connecting to the consciousness of money in a new way, in a very loving way, and seeing your relationship with it has been remarkable. And I told Spirit, I said, I will do this event once a month. So once a
Mm.
month, I pick a day and that's it. And then you'll have to wait until the following month if it gets booked. Because I
Okay.
do a small grouping because
Hmm.
there's a lot in there. There's a lot of teaching. There's um, a mantra that is personalized.
Okay.
There's just a lot in there. But it's my honor to heal this relationship with money.
Yes.
Money really was created. Some humans might say their logic mind, they'll say, oh, well, we didn't want to do the barter system, and so we created money, so we didn't do the barter system. Well, I would say the Native American Indians lived very long time without money. I
Mm.
would say the Atlanteans lived a very long time with money. Money was shown to me that it was a small group of people. Um, and they said, the earth is so big, we can't control all the resources of shelter, food, and water. How can we control that? And money was born. We'll make them
Mm.
pay for it. And it's true. I think we've all experienced feeling trapped by money or trapped by power over.
Mm.
And so it is a great honor for me to see and have a new relationship, to create and use money in love and feel that love with that consciousness of money.
Wow. The untrapping, the untangling of things that have been holding people back.
Yes.
Um, have you worked specifically with people with that are grieving, and how has your work helped them?
Yes. So specifically in grieving, um, I would say to you, those sessions tend to be one-on-one.
Okay.
Um, Usually when someone comes to me, they're really hurt.
Okay.
Um, and so that one-on-one nurturing seems to be necessary, I would say.
Okay.
If they're further along in their healing journey, well, then the class connecting with their guides is good. We don't do healing in that initial class, but you've always been connected to your guides, but you're not aware. So that class is really teaching you how to raise your vibration, reduce your fear, really the science around it. And it's a very good foundational class. And then we start moving into the healing with your beings of light. And that can be done in a group. But if someone is in deep grief and pain, it seems that nurturing one-on-one is really the best to start. Now, I will tell you what's interesting. So I've done over 1,000 sessions over 7 years. And what is interesting is sometimes we don't grieve in another life. And spirit, your inner being, your guides or angels will ask you to grieve in this life because it's even held within your soul field. So just like it's macro and micro. So it's macro and micro. Can't get away from it. You can doesn't matter. You can stomp your feet and cry. It's source. So whatever. Good luck, human. So it's everything is energy or consciousness. So if that was not released in that lifetime, there will be bleed throughs in this lifetime because you must see the gift. You must heal from that or transmute from it. And this is the lifetime that a lot of humans will be doing a lot of healing. Why particularly this lifetime? Well, I'm happy to say our species is going through a shift of consciousness. We are moving more into oneness. We are raising our vibration and we are returning our psychic abilities and our divine soul gifts in this incarnation and timeline. And it is an honor to be part of this grand shift around the globe. And you can see that more and more of us are awakening to love. And there's even metaphysical stores in the mall. Who knew there would be crystal stores in the mall, right? 20 years ago, there was no crystal stores. And if you look up our global shift or ascension or 3D to 5D, you're going to find millions of people aware of it. You're going to find light language and you're going to find star beings and light workers. And it's all there. It's all there.
Wow. Thank you. This has been so informative. I know I've asked you a lot of questions. Are there things in particular that you thought we should maybe cover that we didn't dive into? And would you expound on that, please?
Yes. So one of the weirdest things around grieving, Tina, thank you for doing this. This is very necessary. We will not ascend as a species without going through our grief. That loss of love is felt. As a species, we did come here knowing we would feel this loss of love because we are in physical bodies. There are other worlds where consciousness is not physical. So as a soul, we knew we would grieve. We would feel that pain of loss of love. And so it is important for us not to push away what we knew we would come to experience. So you're pushing away your lesson and not receiving the gift. So I like to tease that you are having sex without the orgasm. So cut it out.
Yeah, that's no, thank you. No. Not at all.
It is important.
But you mentioned something. Too often people do want to try to ignore the grief. They want to try to not feel it. They want to try to just move on and not deal with the emotions or these other things,
Yes.
but really to heal and to learn how to continue having a life that you enjoy. I do find most often it's necessary to lean into the grief and
Yes, leaning in.
yes,
And what Tina is creating, she's creating a safe place to discuss this. Tina is not judging you for your emotions. Tina is not judging you on how fast you heal, or if you don't heal or you do heal, and la 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 la. It matters not. It matters not if you're feeling the pain of the loss from 20 years ago or
yes,
5,000 years ago. It matters not to me. When I started this journey of doing hypnosis of past life regressions and come across lives that they needed to grieve in my session from not this current incarnation, you could only imagine, as a practitioner, my surprise.
mm,
But I saw it so often now, I understand how necessary it is. And now I can facilitate that healing. And I like hypnosis. And the reason why I like hypnosis, and Tina and I, we were talking about this, and I said, hypnosis is doing deep soul work without being overwhelmed and feeling the pain.
mm,
It's like going to the dentist to get deep soul work or teeth work with Novocaine. And so it is not painful, but it is healing
okay,
and it is necessary. So when I'm doing hypnosis with you, it's deep work, but it's not painful. It's like I've always seen the people like just become lighter and
mm,
joyful and transform before my eyes. It's
okay,
like remarkable. And what they're afraid of is really beauty and love. But it's that idea of that child ego like mine thinking, I don't want to take a nap. Right. Or kissing is like kissing my mom and dad. Ew, gross. Right. They just don't understand. But when they have that beautiful experience and it's so transforming and it's so powerful, and
mm-hmm,
they release in hypnosis crying, um, they're in awe.
mm-hmm. And who doesn't want to be in awe? Life brings a lot of things your way. And if you can intentionally find the moments to be in awe, we should capture those. Thank you, Isabelle, for being available to help people, especially going through such a traumatic time, and to help them find out how to get back their awe. Because grief will have a way of sort of snatching that from you, where the
Very
moment
good.
of their death can be all consuming. We want to remember the love. We want to remember the person. We want to remember those good memories, but we want to remember them more in awe than being stuck at that place of misery where we can't see past that moment. So thank you so much for this conversation. Anything else you'd like to bring up that we didn't talk about?
Well, what I would say, the ones who have lost in this current incarnation, one of the most beautiful gifts is that they start being connected to their husband or wife or child, and they start receiving dreams and messages. And
Mm,
they are closer than ever before. And that is a wow. And that is my honor to
wow.
facilitate that.
I'm going to ask you two more questions. Um, if you could pick any time in this current carnation to talk to Isabelle Zimmerman, what would you pick and what would you tell her?
I would tell her, don't be afraid of meditation.
But when? What period? What period of this carnation
That
would you?
was 8 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
I would come as my future self and say, you are just being silly.
Okay. Nice.
And then if I could go back to any part of my time, I would be with my daughter who was 3 days old and kiss her feet again and her little belly
Hmm.
and just be with her one more time like that. If I could. I can only go spiritually. But boy, I would love to physically feel it again.
Is your daughter is your daughter no longer in this world?
No, she is. She is. But
Okay.
every stage is precious.
Yes. Yes.
Every friendship is precious. Sometimes we just take it for granted. But there are cycles. And you can be as mad as you want, but that is prime creator. There are cycles.
Yes.
That is necessary for our soul growth. So even though I appreciated her development, and my daughter is now 20 years old,
okay.
I knew as a mama that it was fleeting.
Yes, it is. It is. That is such a beautiful memory. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
What gives you joy now?
Oh, Tina, I can't believe this is what I was in IT and operations. I've been working in corporate America since I was 14 years old. And if you would have told me my life is going to bring magic back to earth, connect people into joy and love in the spirit realm, in the unseen realm, and to help them understand how amazing and remarkable they are. I see your soul. I get to see it. And boy, if I could wave the magic wand so you can see your own magnificence, I would. I would, even for 1 second.
Wow. Thank you. I will let you close out this conversation and wrap it up.
So thank you so much for spending time with Tina and I. And please be curious no matter where you are in your journey. And just know there is way more going on than what you can see with your human eyes.
Thank you, Isabelle. Thank you, Widowhood, for being here. Everybody have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you for spending another episode with Widowhood Real Talk. If you found the contents of today helpful, share the episode to anyone you know who may need it. Subscribe to the show and tune into Widowhood Real Talk each week. Then visit widowhood-realtalkwithtina.org to join the community and access additional resources. Remember, you are not alone in this journey.